And welcome to News Desk. I am Kemini Nyamani Amano. On the program, we'll take a look at aftermath of the Ajekojo demolition. We understand that the tents that were provided by NADMO for the victims of this demolition have been removed by some national security operatives, and we'll deal with that issue on the program. Also, CGA is holding a press conference on corruption. We'll link up with my colleague Yafusua Jimfi, who is at the press conference, to bring us up to speed what this group is saying. And shockingly, not only is a school under tree, but students have had to run shift in the school under tree. Eric Curtis Howard has joined the students there, and he'll join us on the program with an update on this. This and many more we'll be dealing with on the show. But don't forget that most importantly are your comments, your thoughts on any of the issues we'll be discussing on our social media platforms. Joynews on TV, on Facebook, Kemini Amano on Facebook, or if you tweet, I tweet at Kemini Amano or at Joynews on TV. I'll be glad to share your comments, your thoughts with the rest of us and the News Desk community. Let's start off with Ajekojo demolition. About a few days ago, there was this demolition exercise in Sraha East, which is in the Tema West district. Over 200 homes were brought down to the ground. Several thousands of people were rendered homeless. NADMO went in and then gave them some relief items. We understand that these relief items, including the tents they put up, have been taken away by national security operatives. My colleague Matilda Wemega was there. She actually spent the night with these helpless residents. Let's take a look.
Yeah, that tent no me kita nkwala 5. Yeah, that tent no mo aba some be tent no nti me mhihye na me nkwala no dwane ye for na Canada assassin so ho na ketuwa no sene ya wo mu ni bebi amede ne ba akota. And I assistant Emmanuel was a better animals. I can't have na 5 months. Sisi mi fi ejuma ba me parke ka na no be roshi mi wo ka no ono bi sam sa tent fu ne de na mi so ye ne eda tent nim omo ba ya wan kan hwe no mo tutu ye no mo de tent no ene yen keta e wo mu nyina omo de nyina akọ
sisi aye wo ho no mu no na the police for any soldier for no buy ebe tutu tent na omo de amaye no mo tutu ni nyina yes ka 5 million eda mo sisi amo amaye amfa bibia wo na omo fa di ko ye
na omo ma mo notice bibi omo kan bibi chairman san
pacho de bi omo kan bibia anchire ye nim krabo so omo ba.
So those are some of the residents, and these unknown men believed to be national security operatives, well, had passion for an old lady.
I don't know. But me not that's a pa. We my friend now that I bought a mono. No, I go from 6 what you show. To me, so the calling you now, what park a high day. Mr. Dim, never pan the can here at the bar. One of the one well a grammar or the woman says from Shally. I know about that. I know what Shally, what for brain assassin? No, should I know what I would say. Or China, a bit the imbuza, but Busa hanging out. If you have more alcohol. Moya customer Monty, me pomochobiala, won't you adinchi na nam catch or a moon to walk to Chadis and a moon to them from what dosh. Until one kaya mo ye, Nanapa, you had me be yet and I be me nala.
Sent out of their homes, their structures pulled down, nowhere else to go. NADMO sends relief items. And a group of men, the residents tell us they believe our national security operatives decide to pull out the tents that have been built for them by NADMO. A helpless older woman, well, could do nothing but shed tears.
Baby, baby. Ye brede how did you na dear Besida is heka. Ye bets the money emma. I fear some way you see ye come beer a haya de yeda. And rana jua ye nimsanka. Ye wa hotopu de bano. Almost have a tree as sweat to her. That's a crowd my fix my crow. Mobile eat it in Mudeco. Fiti and Rasa de yeti way, Sarah de yeti amadiachi. Sesi asu ye ma wo school so mo ba sesi a hefa no mo betina What money baby extra?
Now, that's sad, but yes, that's what happened last night at Sraha East, Ajekojo Tema West District, when some unknown persons decided to pull down the sleeping place for these helpless residents who had just lost their homes and have nowhere else to go. Well, we're putting efforts to raise PRO for NADMO over the telephone. We'll try and understand what this is, how this happened. And when we do so, we'll bring back this particular story. I'll be right back. Don't go away. You're welcome back to News Desk. Now, we'll bring back the issue of Ajekojo as we put in efforts to raise the necessary authorities over the telephone. But in the meantime, let's take a look at this. A 33-year-old woman from the Central Region is in police custody for murder. Ikuya Bedu is accused of setting ablaze her estranged husband of 7 years, his new wife, and their baby. There's an update on this. Let's take a look at the first story.
The police received reports of a fire outbreak in a house at Tantra Hills, a suburb of Accra, at about 2 a.m. today, which they attended to with help from the Ghana National Fire Service. 3 bodies, a male, female, a baby, were discovered. Upon suspecting foul play, the police and the Ghana National Fire Service Joint Task Force conducted thorough investigations which led them to the suspect. DCOP Christian Tete Nyahuno is Accra Regional Police Commander.
When the fire scene was inspected, they realized that in the room, 3 people were burned to death. They have arrested a suspect, a lady who was the wife of the deceased man, that is Amos Asobare, whose name is Efua Bedu, age 33 years, who is from Edina Benyaje in the Central Region. Suspect was arrested at a hideout at the Sprinters Road, Matechu. And then over there, they saw some marks of burns on her body. And when the police put to her that she was the brain behind this the arson, she broke down and confessed. During interrogation, Efua Bedu, 33 years, informed police that she got married to the deceased man, that is Ms. Amos Asoribare, about 7 years ago. Along the marriage, there were problems here and there. So, an arrangements were made for settlement to see whether they could patch up their differences. But eventually, the man indicated that he was no more interested in the marriage. And then he went to his hometown and brought the deceased lady, who is called Felicity Asorbai, with another child.
On the way forward, he says,
we'll continue with the investigation and then process her to court. And eventually we'll start from the magistrate court. So from here, we may refer the case to the homicide unit at the National Police Headquarters for continuation of the investigation. It's taking off one's life, so it's murder. So we are going to charge her. The highest charge is murder.
Ariane Toure for Joynews, Accra.
So Ikuya Bedu is to be arraigned before court today, and well, my colleague Beatrice Edu will join us over the telephone and give us an update on the situation. Hello, Beatrice. I'm not sure I have Beatrice over the telephone. The line has dropped. But I was also telling you about how some schools' children have had to run shift in their school, which happens to be under trees because of congestion. And Eric Curtis Howard is there with the school children. He's joined us over the telephone for a quick update. Hello, Curtis.
Good morning.
Good morning. What have you observed?
Okay, Kamini, I'm at the Odumasi I'm from MA School. It's located in the Gan West district of the Greater Accra region. Okay, this morning, arriving at the school, I just observed a few things. First of all, the teachers actually carry out their work under trees. They've actually created a makeshift hut where they do their work. Likewise, the headmaster too as well. He is also sitting under a tree carrying out his work. They do not have a classroom or a staff common room, if I put it that way, to carry out their work. For the school, the students, the pupils of the school, and most of them, the primary section and part of the junior high section are also under shade. And the situation is that when the sun gets too hot, it makes learning conditions very difficult for the children, and they are treated under shade. And the school run a shift system. In one particular class, you see a minimum of about 60 to 70 pupils. One class even has as much as 80 to 90 pupils in the class and carrying out work. And teachers and the headmaster of the school would so far have been telling me that the situation is not too conducive for teaching and learning. Their major problem is that very soon the basic education certification examinations will be up, and the students of this school will be writing the examination. And they were kind of contemplating with this condition, how do they expect their students to get the kind of results that they've expected. And according to the headmaster, the results of the school last year have not been too impressive, and the PTA wants to make a change about the situation. And that's the reason why they're taking steps to make sure that the phenomenon where the students are under trees and in shade to teach for teaching and learning is curtailed. So the situation in the school is quite serious. And one other thing I also observed was that the PTA are trying to put up several makeshift structures around the peripherals of the school, so that those students who are directly affected, like as in those who are sitting under the trees to carry out their academic work, can move into the structures. But like I said earlier on, when it rains or when the sun becomes too hot, then it's another issue altogether, and the place is exposed. There's no form of protection for the children there.
Right, so the school, try and describe this to us. The school from primary 1 to junior high school 3, everything is under tree?
No, for the school, for the junior and high section of the school, that is from JHS 1 to JHS 3. I've seen some buildings that have been put up for the school year. But one thing is that the classrooms are congested because it has to contain more students. That's the reality. The classrooms are really, really crowded. There are more students in the classrooms of those schools. So that's I've seen. But when you take the junior high session, the basic school, primary school, that is where the challenge is. And that is where you see most of the buildings not quite completed and others in makeshift sessions. And students are just seated under these buildings carrying out academic work. And another issue that came up this morning was that, with the palm fronds that the teachers were using as shades, they said there were worms in the palm front. So anytime they are carrying out the academic work, worms just fall off. So this morning they brought new palm fronds to carry out that exercise to replace the old one. So it's a kind of dicey situation here, kind of. And I also picked the information that at 12:30, this session of the class will close. They will go back to the students will all go home, and another session will come. So that's a shift session. And another class. Even with that one, you can count as much as 80, 90 students in a class, but yet another shift will come. So which means that which means a lot of students do attend this school, but because of the lack of facility. that has been abandoned for 8 years now, which is in an uncompleted state. If officials could do something about it, they could really put the place in order. And the makeshift structures that they're putting up here, if officials could put it do a very good fencing around it, they could put some shelves around it, they could put something around it just to enhance it, they would be very grateful. And like I told you, the headmaster, you see what he calls his wardrobe, that he takes he puts his books in. It's just one of these brown boxes, paper boxes, and he just put the books in and he sits on it to work. And it's not really, really good for a modern age with the kind of school system that we should be seeing now. So it's been a major challenge year for the students and for the teachers as well. But they say they've sent several petitions, and now they want to send it through the media so that government can listen to their plight.
But is this the only school in the community?
Okay, this is about just all the other schools in the community. They are private schools. And this is just about the major government schools.
I'm putting the referral in abeyance. I want the leadership of the House to look into this matter and make proposals as to how to go about it within a week.
Speaking to Joynews after proceedings, the majority leader argued that the minority only wants to score political points with allegations.
They immediately took us back to Vodafone. And is it accidental that the amount is also $5,000? So it's an equalization arrangement. And that's what I'm saying. It's an expensive equalization game to play, because the context might be different between Vodafone and this particular one.
The MP for Efijuasi Asokore, Frank Boachi Ajin, accused the Speaker of being influenced externally during the emergency sitting to consider a motion filed by the Deputy Minority Leader on the sale of the Merchant Bank. This, the member for Asawasi and Majority Chief Whip Muntaka Mohammed says, belittles the Speaker. Emmanuel, Parliament, Accra.
And Emmanuel will join us briefly and give us an update on this particular directive from Speaker of Parliament, Edward Do Ajaho. In the meantime, let's join Yafusua Jimfi, who is at the press conference being organized by CJA on corruption in Ghana. Hello, Ya.
Hello, Kemini.
What have you gathered so far? Good morning.
Okay, Kemini, the press conference is being addressed by Kwesi Pratt, and then it started by recounting the issues that happened last year. They are saying that in spite of all efforts by the CJ over the 8 years period, the conditions of life of ordinary Ghanaians have not improved in any way. And they're recounting the election petitions too as well. Last year, they are saying that last year was a very bad year for the country as inflation went up so high, utility tariffs and stuff has not been that good for the ordinary Ghanaian citizens. So this year going forward, the CJA says that it is going to mount pressure in compelling government to establish a financial tribunal, which is envisioned in the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution, to deal with cases of embezzlement and misapplication of funds misapplication of funds, and they are calling on political parties and civil societies to join them in mounting this pressure on government for the establishment of this financial tribunal. They are saying that in the absence of their financial tribunal reduces the work of the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament. So this is what the CJ intends to do this year, and then they are calling on all stakeholders hands on board to fight corruption, which is troubling with the country coming in.
I see. What do we know about how they intend to mount this pressure for the tribunal courts?
Okay, Kamini, just like they said, they've done over the years, they are going to hold press conferences and then demonstrations which would put much pressure on them as well, Kamini.
But the CJ is not convinced about organizations like the Shraj, like Iyoko. They are not convinced by them. Hello? I think we have lost the other. Yafusua Jimfi joined us from the venue of the press conference being organized by the CJA on corruption. This year, the CJA says that it will mount pressure on government to establish financial tribunal court to deal with some of these corruption-related issues that sprang up mostly last year and in the course of 2013. I'll read some of your comments when I return. Welcome back. Now, 46 persons aspiring to hold various national executive positions within the new patriotic party have picked nomination forms. Picking of forms came to an end at 5 p.m. Wednesday, January 29.
Of elections for the NPP, Martin Ejay Mensah-Kosa says the next stage is the filing of nominations once picking of forms is closed. According to him, there appears to be a fair representation from all the regions so far.
You have different categories of people. When I say categories, I'm looking at tribe, ethnicity, and so on, going for different categories of positions. And so every position that you pick, you have a mixture of, a tribal balance. Okay, but that for me rests more with how the voters or delegates will do the permutations and make sure that in the next National Executive Committee we have representation of all the tribal or ethnic groupings, because we're a national party.
Persons who are aspiring for the various executive positions, he says, are members of the party, including Freddie Blay, who many may know to belong to the Convention People's Party.
In fairness to Mr. Freddie Blay renounced his CPP membership and joined the NPP about 2 years ago. It looks like many people did not take notice, but it's a matter of record. Yes, he officially joined this party after renouncing his membership of the CPP. And so it's not true that he's a member of the CPP.
You're watching News Desk. I'll be right back. Thank you very much for staying through. Today on the program, we've looked at the demolition exercise the aftermath of the demolition exercise that took place at Shraha East in Ajekojo in the Tema West district, where some unknown men believed to be some national security operatives have pulled down the tents that were given to the residents who lost their homes in the exercise a few days back. And we discovered this as spending the night with these helpless residents. Also, the CJA has organized a press conference and has assured that it will put pressure on government to set up a financial tribunal court to deal expeditiously with some of the issues, some of the corruption-related issues that have cropped up in the country recently. In the Gawes Municipal Assembly, students and teachers of the only public school in the area are appealing to government to expedite the construction of school blocks for them, as they have had to learn under trees or under makeshift structures for too long, and it's making learning and teaching very difficult. And well, that's how we'll end the program today. I'm unable to read your comments, unfortunately, but I'm totally grateful you stay through. My name is Emmanuel. Look forward to some updates on the Gawes Municipal Assembly School issue and a subsequent broadcast. I'll see you again at midday on News Today. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of our programs.